Hello, DeadBurgerKing here, back with a special Toreba video today. I get asked frequently how I keep winning stuff on Toreba, and I get told that I've won more stuff than anyone's ever seen on Toreba, and they've asked me how I do it, and so I figured I'd make a special Toreba video going into all the prizes I've won and how I've won them. But unfortunately, a lot of the videos have been lost to time, so I can't show all the prizes I've won and how I've won them all, but I'm going to do my best with what I have. Let's get into it. So bear in mind, aside from $3 a month that I spend on the subscription, which nets you $10 worth of play currency for $3, and $5 2, maybe 3 times, I have not spent any money on this game. 95% of these wins have been won with the free play tickets that we get every day. The only time that I spend $5 is if I know for a fact that a prize is about to fall in 1 to 2 tries. That is literally the only time I spend any money aside from the subscription. 95% of these wins have been won with the free play tickets that we get every day. So bear that in mind as we go into the videos. This one is one of the first prizes that I've won. I didn't have any specific strategy for this one because I was still learning the mechanics of the game and a lot of the machines, so I wasn't exactly sure what I was doing. So this one is chucked up to luck. It was what I call a troll win, where it looks like it's not going to fall, but as soon as the claw moves back, it falls. This one took a few play tickets. The aiming was incredibly tricky, but the way to win was incredibly simple. Just needed to boop the bottom corner there, and it fell. This one was another incredibly lucky win. I was actually trying to nick the bottom right corner there and pull it to the right, but my aiming was off, and I still won. I found this one just about to fall. All it needed was a little itty bitty tug to the left and it'll fall. So I positioned the crane to grip it with just enough force to pull it to the left, and it fell. Normally with this mechanic, you use the bent pincer to grip the prize, to rock it to the right and use the weight to slam back down to the left. And you kind of wobble it back and forth until it falls. But in this particular case, all I needed was the straight pincer to go underneath the box to the right and give it a gentle nudge to the left. Okay, so this is a very crazy win for me. I knew exactly what to do. I just needed to grab the closest hoop and pull it to the right, and then grab the bottom hoop and pull that to the left and wiggle it back and forth, and it fell. But here's the crazy part. When I was waiting for my turn to play, I watched someone play for 45 minutes playing. Each try took roughly 15 to 30 seconds, and each try cost $2.80. I'm not willing to do the math for that, but it was an absurd amount of money they had to spend, and they did not get it. I watched the next person play. They try 3-4 times and then give up, and then I go in, just whoop whoop, and it fell. I felt so bad for the person who spent that absurd amount of money, but this Luna plushie is still on my couch and I love it to death. This is another really simple one. It was just a simple boop and it fell. My goal here was to have the crane pick up the box at the very edge of the box, so that way it wouldn't stay in the crane for long and be dropped at an angle, and was hoping that it would fall off the bar when it landed. It was a gamble, but it paid off. In this one, the prize was just barely hanging on the bars there. It just needed a slight little nudge to fall. So just like the previous win, I grabbed it at an angle where the claw would barely pick it up, but it would pick it up enough that it'll drop and fall. This is the craziest and clumsiest win I have ever had so far. I wanted the claw to pick it up at the top and bottom of the box. I was hoping it would twist it, straighten it out, and then it would fall between the bars. But I underestimated how far down the claw goes, and that led to this. This one was just dumb luck. I completely overestimated the claw's reach and how far down it goes. I was trying to get the left pincer under the left side of the box and flip it, but it got nowhere near that point. Yet it somehow still gripped the box and flipped it anyways. Even though my aim was off here, I still got myself another troll win. When the claw has bent pincers like this one does, it has the potential to legitimately pick up prizes, which is usually contrary to most of the machines on Toreba. And in this case, the prize just needed the closest edge to be picked up to straighten it out and make it fall. So I went straight for those corners to make that happen. This is just like the Sakura Miku a few prizes ago, but this time I got the aiming just right. I noticed in my previous couple of tries on this machine that the prize was big enough to fit in between both pincers, despite the fact that the right pincer is slanted while the left pincer is bent. So I was able to use that to pull it slightly to the left while the slanted pincer scooped it into the bent pincer, and then the bent pincer picked it up just a little bit so it would drop enough to make it fall. This is another really simple boop to win scenario. So this one was really close to falling in between the bars. It just needed to be jarred a bit. So I decided to pull the furthest left corner to the right. That way it would pick it up while also turning the box upward, making it then slam back down in between both bars. This is my most clever Toreba win yet. I knew exactly what to do the second I saw this setup. I just needed 2 tickets and I was done. So I picked up prize A and moved it over to the right so it would land on top of prize B. You can see it almost tip over, but I knew I was going to need both tickets. So on my second attempt, I just pick up prize B. Because the front of prize B is stuck on the rubber bar, I knew it would pick up the back and not the front. It would act like a catapult, knocking down prize A for me. This one's a little hard to explain without being able to show both camera angles, but basically only the edge of the ribbon in the front there was on the rubber bar. So all I needed to do was just move it a little tiny bit at an angle, so that way the smoother face of the ribbon would be on the rubber bar instead of the edge, and it would just slide through. I took a risk here. I decided to pick up the topmost part of the prize using the hoops on the bottom of the box to make it tip over. Now, the risk I was taking was it could have gone either way. It could have fallen down, or it could have fallen back behind the hoops out of bounds, in which case it would have been impossible to win, and at which point maintenance would come in and reset the prize entirely. So yeah, good thing it worked out for me. Now, this one was really tricky. I had no idea how to make this work, so I was scraping the bottom of the barrel as far as ideas go, and I thought having the claw come down on the back of the box, pressing weight into the box, I was hoping it would cause the rubber band underneath the box to repel it upwards as the crane relieved its pressure when it lifted up. And lo and behold, it wound up working. I did not think it would. So with this one, I knew exactly what to do. I just needed to pull the box to the right. However, I didn't expect it to play out the way it did. Now, this is one of those instances that I did not just use play tickets to win. I wound up using my play tickets and my 10,000 TP from my $3 a month subscription, because this mechanic has a special rule to it. If you pull out the last ball in the pot, you automatically win by default. When I saw this mechanic, there was only 5-6 balls left in the pot. So I wound up using my TP and my play tickets, and I eventually got that last ball out of the pot. Now this one, it was very, very close to falling. It just needed a little incentive, so I just pulled it just a little bit. Unfortunately, it didn't fall while the camera was recording. However, it did fall in between tries, so this counted as a win, even though the prize didn't fall while it was recording. This one, I was aiming to pick up the closest edge of the box and kinda have it even out and fall, but I did not realize that the claw would go down as far as it did, but it worked out in my favor. With this one, I just needed to place weight in the middle of the box, so that way when the claw lifted up, it would flick it to the right and spin it around, and this would happen. I had planned on using 2 tickets on this one, but it turned out I didn't need to do that. It actually fell after my first try, in between tries right after the camera stopped recording. My plan was to flip it over on its edge, and then I was just going to push it down because it wouldn't need much more after that to fall. I don't usually go for this mechanic because so much about this mechanic is very iffy to me, but it looked really close to falling, and if I recall, I couldn't find anything else to spend my tickets on, so I said what the heck, and it worked out. I had already spent all but one of my tickets at this point to get this prize to this point, and if it didn't fall in this try, I wasn't going to get it. Fortunately, it was right there, just about to fall. All I needed to do was pick it up enough so it would drop with enough force that it would just fall. This is another one that I got crazy lucky with. The left pincer got stuck on the bar, which gave the right pincer enough strength to pull the box to the left, and that wound up ultimately moving it just enough that it would fall. And if the left pincer didn't get stuck in that bar, I don't think that prize would have fallen at all. So this is a funny one. People were skipping turns left and right because the prize on the right was super close to the prize that's about to fall on the left. And so it eventually came my turn and I'm just like, you know what? I'll show y'all how this is done. And one try win. So my plan here was to move the prize on top of the prize separator. That way it won't get wedged in between the bars and it'll slide right off. I do this again with another prize in this video. This is the same thing as Wolfram earlier in the video. I pushed down on the middle of the box so when the claw lifts up, it'll flick to the right and spin it around and make it fall. This little guy just needed a hug to be reassured that it's okay to fall. And just like my drunken uncle at her family reunions, it finally fell down. You can't tell from this angle, but the top of the box is weighted down. This is one of the mechanics I would like to try to avoid, but the weighted part of the box was barely on the back of the shelf. So in other words, just a slight movement off the bar underneath it would make it fall. My goal here was to pick up the closest edge and pull it to the left. I was hoping that once the claw dropped it, it would flip over or fall through the further bar. But the claw did something I did not anticipate and wound up turning it clockwise. And that's actually what made it fall. I got crazy lucky here. This is the prize that I mentioned earlier during the Chibi Sakura Miku win. I just brought the box on top of the prize separator and it slid right off. Okay, so the next two prizes I've won, they look exactly the same. They're the same exact mechanic, same exact prize, but they're two different prizes. And to prove this, I'm pulling up my prize list. You'll see I have two Spring Mikus won in the list here. Two different dates. So I just wanted to bring this up and show you to reassure you that this is two different videos. And I got stupid lucky both times. With this one, it was so close to falling, all I needed to do was pick up the end of the box that's closest to the camera, and it falls. So with this one, I wanted to pull the top of the box to the left, and I thought I messed up, but it wound up being another troll win. Not only did I win a prize, but I also won the ability to say, I have Uranus.
Good night, everybody.
I don't normally do chance-based machines, but this one looked really fun, so I wanted to give it a shot, and I am glad I did. So with this one, I just needed to pull the back left corner to the left and it would fall. I don't usually go for setups like this because I don't like not seeing where I'm going with the claw, but it worked out. So with this one, if you look at the bar, you'll see a little piece of white tape. That's to indicate how far away it is from its default position and how close it is to falling. So I just kept using my play tickets until it finally fell. This is my newest win, so I have all the moves that I made to make it fall. I botched the very first ticket, so this is one that I wound up spending $5 on just to play one more play to make it fall. So the first try here, I was trying to get it to flip over that middle bar, and I succeeded. So in this attempt, I needed it to stand up straight, so I pulled the bottom back corner up to the right, so that way it would stand up straight. This is the play that made me need to spend $5 for one more play. I went too far back. I wanted to pick it up roughly 3/4 of the way back. I kind of went all the way back. So there wasn't enough force to flip it because the pincer got stuck on the bar and I went way too far back. So this is where I spent $5 for a $2 attempt because I knew exactly what to do and how to do it. It was just lucky that the claw also wanted to help out and started gripping the box before going all the way down. It's possible they would have gotten stuck on the bars again. So that was 2 years worth of prizes won as a 95% free-to-play player. One of the biggest tips that I could give that I don't mention in this video is to shop around for a while. That's what I do every day. I shop around for up to 2 hours a day, looking for any prize that will fall between 1 to 4 tries, because that's how many free play tickets you get a day. I don't typically go for things that I want. I look for things that are about to fall. It's just coincidence that I happen to win things that I actually want. So with that being said, if you liked this video, if you found it amusing, helpful, or just genuinely enjoyed it, please consider giving a like, or you can subscribe and get notified when I post new videos. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day.